please remember to leave a like, a comment, share the video about, and if you haven't already, subscribe. Thank you. Well, isn't this just fantastic?
Captain's Log, Subdate 230915.1. Over the weekend we need to give Foodie Beauty a fair amount of our time, which is boring, so I intend to play with a lot of untreated wood and paint me some elves of the old world. As I'm highly exciting, you can be jelly of my fun times. Welcome everyone to This Week at Twitter, or X. When the URL finally changes, I might cry. Today we're going to start with a very simple tweet that evolved into more, and thanks to Archive being a dickhead, every single individual tweet within it had to be archived. Miss Undoom. Some days are boring looking lunchbox days. Really tasty though. Patties with feta cheese, and the pasta is tossed with garlic and herb sauce, good both hot and cold. Innocuous on the face of it, right? Apparently not, because Jake, actual Jake of formerly the Bible Reloaded, which hasn't been active in years, but actual Jake is quite active on Twitch and re-uploads all content to a YouTube channel called Actual Jake, a channel which obsesses over a lot of the anti-SJWs of old. Sean Head being one, Jordan Peterson, sure, but the one that really drives Jake is Armored Skeptic, or Greg, yeah? Because everything Greg does must be responded to in the context of Jake, who had retweeted Miss Undoomed with, Unboomed runs this account too, and it's just pictures of his divorced dad food. Unboomed is a reference to Undoom, who Miss Undoomed is engaged to. Okay. This was retweeted by Simius, who said, Again's for someone who thinks one should not be toxic, it seems like he's okay being toxic. Jake retweeted with the image of the tweet itself, the original one, with, I'm borderline ruining this transphobe's beige life, agree. I just want to insert a random point of no connection whatsoever. I love users who cannot not use Twitter, but will happily link an alternative because they're kind of protesting, kind of not, in their title and their description. Simius retweeted, I love the weird prescriptions he makes knowing F all about them. It's almost ironic. Miss Undoomed accurately said, you are really being mean for no reason. Ever heard of, if you don't have anything nice to say, don't say anything at all? The thing with Miss Undoomed is, she doesn't get involved in a lot of things. Social commentary, not really. I follow her, and sometimes it's nice to have a break from that. I like a lot of videos of dogs and cats and otters, because there's nothing wrong with liking something different, and not every platform is a battleground or a reason to crap on someone else. Sarah replied to Miss Undoomed with, explain that to your fiance. And I'm saying fiance because male fiance, female fiancé. Yes, I know my French, you dickheads. Jake, open-minded bro, he's an effing transphobe and your beige ass food is just funny. So guilt by association is being applied here, Jake. How quaint. How original. I see you've become the very thing you used to argue against. How tragic. Miss Undoom. So you're being unnecessarily mean to someone because of guilt by association. That seems like a nice person. Sarah, boo-hoo, stop dating a homophobe. This is the level of intellectual stunted that you find on platforms like X. Because buzzwords are all they have, and they have no real valuable conversation. Sarah, by the way, is I believe the partner of Actual Corn, aka Jake, formerly of Bible Reloaded, a once respected person, now just a Twitch streamer who dresses up in a massive suit of corn, because apparently he shits it. Generally, when I have a problem with an individual, I don't make it a point to go to that person's partner. I'll critique someone's food, sure, but as Miss Undoomed pointed out in the first tweet, some days are boring looking lunchbox days, and there's nothing wrong with that. Hell, my lunch is remarkably boring. I usually go with a protein shake and maybe some Belvita. But that's mostly because I work out a lot, so I'm not some fat twat who sits around all day on Twitter, Blue Sky, or Twitch. Although I do stream on Twitch, but for nowhere near as long as many of these twats who obsess over the anti-SJWs of old. But you know what? We all here love a bit of historical revisionism, so you do you, boo. But I would say for the sake of it, don't blame Miss Undoomed for disagreeing with what Undoomed says. Take it straight to him. Although you might find, much like with Miss Undoomed, he doesn't give a f*** either, because he has no reason to care what you think about him. He'll continue to make his videos when he makes them and go back to work. Miss Undoomed will do the same, but mostly work because I don't think she makes content. And in the case of you, Jake, you should just carry on making your videos shitting on Greg and Jordan Peterson, and basically anyone else that you think is worthy of your time. Mostly Greg. Like, seriously, look at the image and how many videos you did within the space of a couple months on Greg. Dedicated streams, how tragic is that? Do you wait for him to upload just so you can respond to it? Is he your vaunted cash cow pinata? Or do you genuinely believe what he has to say is so contentious all the time? So next I've got a couple of videos I want to share with you. The first comes from Liv's at TikTok concerning American flags. A point I'd like to make after seems quite pertinent.
So I just moved to the suburbs from San Francisco. Everything looks a little bit pale orange because California's on fire. So that's that. But what really makes me feel unsafe here is the vast amount of American flags I see.
So you don't reside within an area that is more blue leaning and find it uncomfortable to see national pride on display. I don't see a problem with national pride in any sense of the word. However, in England, it seems to be a prevailing problem for the majority of the country. Scotland, Wales and Northern Ireland are quite happy to be very proud of their heritage. England, not so much. We prefer United Kingdom or Great Britain. In America, you have moved to an area where it is guaranteed to be a different experience. Not all of California votes blue. The state is resoundingly blue because of the cities. Video number 2 comes from Instagram, from a person who identifies as an early childhood music specialist. The song's a bit cringe, but I think you need to hear it.
One day a child asked of me, can a boy become a girl? I said the idea of he and she is just a myth, you see.
I want to make a very clear point. Adults are busy in some areas of the world bickering over identity, gender identity more notably. Okay, then you have some who want to erode at what it means to be, for example, male or female, and then insert others as well. There are others who want to affirm it. And then there are some who would like to simply erase children's identities from a young age because it's only when they're an adult will they know what they really are. It's not very healthy, and there's nothing mythical about immutable fact. Science, that is, the biological aspect especially, and no, genetic manipulation will always be off the table. Stop trying to mess with children. Third one, okay, the third video is a Poe, and I have to state that from the start. It should be like an Americans Ruin Everything, but a Brit version instead. But this is genuinely a Poe, and it's when you get to one of the ingredients, you can tell it's for certain a Poe.
Tonight we're having burritos. Ooh, so I just literally put everything into a bowl and then stuff it in the wraps. So this is just chicken seasoned with paprika and lemon. Mexican rice, lettuce, cucumber, red onion and red Leicester cheese, baked beans with refried beans. Ooh. We don't like kidney beans or anything like that, only baked beans.
I could understand if it was just the beans, but when the tomato sauce from the tin was also included, that was when it was a guarantee no. Fake, fraud, phony, Poe, okay? We Brits get a lot of stick for our food, our culinary tastes. I still think beans on toast with some cheese on top is absolutely banging. But that does not mean, for a moment, I would go and commit absolute blasphemy to other cultural foods. I would use kidney beans instead, by the way. Before I trigger many of you using a silly little chav with a dog tag around her neck, which seems apt all things considered, woof. Let's move on. Drama alert on Twitter. Tweeted out on September the 10th, the ice cream licking trend is going viral again. The video in question actually comes from 2019 where readers had to add context to confirm that, courtesy of metropoles.com. Sugar tits. We should capture these dickheads and subject them to torture by waterboarding them with bucket after bucket of herpes-ridden prostitute spit. It's possible she didn't see the part where readers added context. And considering the world had to suffer through COVID, I doubt many people are doing this anymore. And I say suffer through COVID, not the germ part, no, the government control part. We suffered through that, I'm not okay with it. Next, Pop Base. Names of Elon Musk and Grimes' 3 kids. I'm not even going to pretend to understand the first 2. The third one, Technomechanicus. 40k? Elon Musk reply, Tau Technomechanicus, circumference over diameter. Oh, I like that. I like that a lot. That's quirky. And your child, all three, are going to get bullied. Not by me, of course, but I might pay someone to do it, because those names are weird, says Omegon. Brixwy, is this funny? Included an image. Texas restaurant slammed for using photos of Caitlyn Jenner before and after her transition on bathroom doors. I mean, I think it's quite conclusive. Retweeted by Caitlyn Jenner, funny as hell. At least she sees the funny side of it, I guess. Next, we should probably talk about Unity software, or Unity, the game engine, developer thing, yeah. Unity Technologies, that place. Okay. They're involved in a fair few projects and used on quite a lot of things. Okay. They're in a bit of trouble because they introduced game developer fees, and this has cost them customers. Shares dropped as much as 8% to an intraday low of $35.83 on Wednesday, in which Unity had said it was introducing a Unity runtime fee based upon each time a qualifying game is downloaded by a user. Oh boy. It was believed that the fee move would help convert free and lower tier Unity subscribers into paying subscribers. It may also not push them toward other game engines like Epic Games Inc.'s Unreal Engine. Okay, that's interesting. Alpha Omega Sin, keep it going, because as you can see there, that is quite a dip. And rightly so. Don't introduce game developer fees, okay? This is a PR disaster for Unity, okay? You've got gamers and developers united against you. How stupid are you that you would do that? Because of this, lots of threats have been sent the way of the Unity offices, to the point they've had to shut the offices. I don't condone that. I'm just pointing out this is a consequence you did bring upon yourselves for such a stupid idea. The only way you could have made that even more worse would have been if you'd done a paid promotional ad with Dylan Mulvaney, with Dylan twerking in front of minors.